I don't have to tell you things.
Okay, well,
I don't have to tell you things are bad.
changed
Everybody knows
Hi,
things are
everybody.
bad. It's
Welcome
a depression.
to Global Watch News.
Everybody's
we
out of
changed
work,
StreamYard,
scared
and
of
I'm not
losing their
familiar
job.
with it. Can you guys
A
hear me?
dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat.
Hold on a minute.
We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watch News. My name is Lori Swan. I hope you guys are all doing well. Here in the live chat, we do ask you to keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platform we're utilizing this morning. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when we go live. Hi, guys. It's been a while. But, yeah, how you doing? I do want to apologize to you guys because StreamYard changed their format. They changed it. I'm not familiar with it. Haven't used it in months. So yeah, we'll have it ironed out before we really do go live. So it is now April 21st, 2025, and I don't know if you guys caught the Mass from the Vatican yesterday for Easter Sunday, Ishtar Sunday. But the Pope did make a short appearance, and he really did not look that well. Well, the Pope has passed away. So which means now the Catholic Church will go into conclave, and they will pick another Pope, which will be interesting because I believe Malachi, the Malachi prophecy, did state that Francis would be the last pope. But things got kind of hokey when Benedict retired, you might say, stepped down. He didn't die, and that's usually how the Pope steps out of his title, is when they pass away. But Benedict did not pass away. He stepped down for reasons that the mainstream media has never told anybody. But the reason why he stepped down was because he was found guilty of child trafficking and child sacrifice through the Ninth Gate cult in a court in Brussels. Father Kevin Annott put forth the evidence, and they were convicted along with the Queen, along with the prime ministers, a couple prime ministers, the Pope, the Queen. The problem with that is that we knew that the warrants or the sentences would never be carried out, because no matter where the Pope stands, just like the Queen, it's on sovereign land, and so that's why he was never brought in. So, but he did step down, and that's how we got Francis. So that would leave it open for one more Pope. So this would technically, if we follow Malachi's prophecy, would be the last Pope. The interesting part of it is that he passed away at the age of 88, 88 being a significant number. And let me see if I can pull up the significance of 88. Sorry, my allergies are kicking my butt this year. We had a really bad windstorm the other night with some rain, and ever since then I've been like scratchy. Plus I'm tired, and when I get tired I get kind of hoarse too. So let's see, oops. Yeah. And I apologize if you guys hear helicopters or sirens in the background. I live across the street from a hospital, from a level 1 trauma center. So it's pretty noisy here all the time. So let's do this. It's at the number 88. Okay. All right, well, 88, that's funny. So this is what it says. It says the number 88 holds different significances depending on the context. In Chinese culture, it's associated with fortune and good luck due to the sound similarities of the number 8 to the word fei, which implies wealth or prosperity. In a different context, the number 88 is used by neo-Nazis as the abbreviation for Heil Hitler, with H being the 8th letter of the alphabet. Additionally, the context of musical instruments, 88 refers to the number of keys on the standard piano. Finally, in the Shaikuku pilgrimage, certain temples are associated with the number 66 to 88, representing in entering nirvana. That's not what I wanted. No, there we go. 88. What does 80 mean? Okay. In the Bible, Psalm 88 expresses profound sense of despair and anguish, reflecting a deep sense of suffering and feeling abandoned. The psalm does not conclude with a typical positive affirmation, but instead presents the psalmist's intense sorrow and longing for rescue. While the number 88 itself doesn't have a specific universally recognized meaning within biblical numerology, it can be connected to the number 8, which often symbolizes new beginnings, resurrection, fresh starts, according to the numerologists. Number 88 in biblical context. So it means new beginnings. Number 8 and by extension 88 can be associated with new beginnings, resurrection, and fresh start according to numerology. Resurrection. The number 8 is linked to the concept of resurrection, as exemplified by Noah and his family being saved in the ark, according to reports. According to the report that's writing this article. And the symbol of infinity, the number 8, can be also symbols of infinity, representing the limitless nature of the universe. Okay, and I find it the resurrection part I find kind of interesting, because I mean he passed away. I'm not sure if he passed away before midnight or after midnight, but nonetheless, I mean Resurrection Sunday, well, Palm Sunday, or I'm sorry, not Palm Sunday, Easter Sunday, Ishtar Sunday. So the resurrection, the new beginnings, and this would mean you're going to have two things. This would mean because of Malachi's prophecy, and like I said, I just explained the fact that we had those two popes. Kind of Francis would still, Francis would be an extension of Benedict, so he would not count as the last pope. This pope that they would be bringing in through the conclave this time, according to Malachi's prophecy, would be the last pope. So I find that kind of interesting that the number 8 symbolizes new beginnings, a fresh start. I think that's quite interesting because I mean that's kind of what's going to happen. They said 7 this morning. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I just Deb just gave it to me right now. I just got home from work, and I was cleaning up my dishes and stuff because I made a dinner before I left for work. And so I was just cleaning up the dishes and doing a little bit of my housework before going to bed because Mondays I kind of sleep in. So that would be 7 o'clock. That would be, yeah, Back to the Future too. I think there's an 88 tie to the Back to the Future too. But all right, I'm going to. Oh, Claus Schwab resigned from the. Did he really? Oh, I'll have to check that out. I'm trying to think of what his name is. The guy with the guy with the glasses. Did he take over his position? It would be Schwab's right hand guy there. We did a show on him. You can find it in our past live streams, talking about him being actually worse than Schwab. Good morning, Pam. How are you? All right. So this article. Okay. Give me a second. I figure out how to do this. Oh my God. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. So this says here, Pope Francis 88. I want to know who wrote this. I really do. I want this person to write my final article, and because wow, talk about embellishment much. I'll just put it that way. Pope Francis, 88, a humble reformer who sought to make the Catholic Church more inclusive, much to the ire of some conservatives, has died, the Vatican said Easter Monday. Cardinal Kevin Farrell, Camerlengo of the Apostolic Chamber, announced the Pope's death from the Casa Santa Marta with these words, according to the Vatican News. Dearest brothers and sisters, with deepest sorrow, I must announce the death of our Holy Father, Francis. At 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the house of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and of his church. He taught us to live the values of the gospel with fidelity, courage, and universal love, especially in favor of the poorest and most marginalized. With immense gratitude for his example of a true disciple of the Lord Jesus, we commend the soul of Pope Francis to the infinite merciful love of the one and triune God. The Pope's death comes one day after the frail but determined Francis greeted thousands at St. Peter's Square after Easter Mass in his open-air Pope-mobile, and just weeks after an extended hospital stay in which he battled bilateral pneumonia and other health issues. The Pope, who shunned pomp and privilege and loved to be among the people, sat in a raised chair in the vehicle as thousands cheered, Viva el Papa. He stopped at several places along the square, much to the delight of the crowd. Born Gior Mario Bergioli in Buenos Aires to Italian immigrant parents, Francis rose through the ranks as a Jesuit priest in his home country of Argentina. Elected in March 2013, Francis was the 266th Pope, the first Pope from the Americas, and the first born outside of Europe in over a millennia. During his papacy, he was praised and criticized for commenting on political issues from immigration to LGBTQ issues. Francis Di Bernardo, Executive Director of the New Ways Ministry, a Catholic ministry of justice and reconciliation for the LGBTQ people, called Francis a gift to the church and to the LGBTQ community. Di Bernardo credited the Pope with encouraging church leaders to accompany, listen, and dialogue with the LGBTQ community and people, thus opening the doors that had been sealed shut by homophobia and transphobia of previous popes. Francis was not only the first pope to use the word gay when speaking about LGBTQ plus people, he was also the first pope to speak lovingly and tenderly to them. Di Bernardo said in an email to the USA Today, his kind words of welcome to this community, traditionally marginalized in the church, rang loudly around the globe. Vice President J.D. Vance shared his condolences April 21st after the death of Pope Francis, a day after he met with the head of the Catholic Church in the Vatican. Photos taken by the Vatican and shared by the White House showed a smiling Vance, a Catholic convert who clashed with Francis in the past over immigration, seated across from Francis, who was in a wheelchair. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians. I'm going to change that to the millions of Catholics, because not all Christians are Catholic and not all Catholics are Christian. You know what I'm saying? My heart goes out to the millions of Catholics all over the world who loved him. I was happy to see him yesterday, though he was obviously very ill. Vance posted on X, but I'll always remember him for the homily he gave in the very early days of COVID. It was really quite beautiful. Francis's Easter Sunday appearance in the crowd at St. Peter's Square came after a hospital stay of more than 5 weeks, during which, at one point, physicians considered halting treatment to allow him to die peacefully. Francis was admitted to the hospital on February 14th after a week-long battle with bronchitis. He had been struggling to speak and even breathe during the public appearances. His hospitalization included multiple attacks of acute respiratory insufficiency, according to daily updates issued by the Vatican. While hospitalized, the Pope was also diagnosed with polymicrobial infection and then mild renal insufficiency. Sergio Alfieri, a physician in Rome's Gemelli Hospital, told Italy's Corriere della Sera in an interview last month that 2 weeks into the Pope's hospitalization, the medical team had to decide whether to stop and let him go or force it and try all the drugs and the therapies possible. Alfieri said the Pope delegated health care decisions to Massimiliano Strapapetti, his personal health assistant, who told the team to try everything, don't give up. The Pope was released from the hospital on March 23rd. Oh, the 323. Do you see that? What's 323, guys? We know what that is, right? That's the number for Skull and Bones. And has been back to work, albeit on short schedule. Cardinal Kevin Farrell announced the Pope's death from the Casa Santa Marta early Monday morning. He said that at 7:35, the Pope passed away. The cause of death was not immediately announced, but Francis had spent more than 5 weeks in the hospital earlier this year with bronchitis. Okay. So before Francis emerged into the crowd at St. Peter's Square on Easter Sunday in his Pope mobile, the Pope had blessed the throng from the balcony. He had given a proclamation that Christ, my hope, has risen, before passing on this text to be read by Archbishop Diego Ravelli. The Italian cardinal presided over the Easter morning mass that drew more than 50,000 faithful gathered in the flower-filled St. Peter's Square, the Vatican said. The election of the new pope is a highly mystified and sacred process. It's a ritual, guys. Let's just call it what it is. Dating back centuries and enshrined in last year's award-winning thriller Conclave. The last time the College of Cardinals gathered to vote and select a new representative of God was more than a dozen years ago when Pope Francis was selected. His predecessor, Pope Benedict, stepped down from the papacy in 2013. We just talked about that. A decision that had not been made by someone of his station for almost 600 years. Benedict, then 85, cited that his age, it was his age, and declining health, because he lived for another, 10 years? Yeah, okay. He died in 2022, so he, almost 9 years. Francis appointed nearly 80% of the cardinal electors who will choose the next pope, increasing but not guaranteeing the possibility that his successor will continue his progressive policies. Some Vatican experts have predicted a more moderate, less divisive successor. Under his watch, an overhauled Vatican constitution allowed any baptized lay Catholic, including women, to head most departments in the Catholic Church central administration. He put more women in senior Vatican roles than any previous pope, but not as many as progressives wanted. Well, he also will be known. Let's just put that. He will be known as the Pope who put in motion the New World religion of Islam. He was the one that put forth the building of the Abraham House that houses a church, a temple, and a synagogue. A church, a synagogue, and a temple, I believe. So, and that's going to set in motion, like I said, the New World religion. He also was the one that said that it really doesn't matter what you believe in. There's many roads. There's many roads to get to salvation, to get to the Father, to get to heaven, which we know that's not true. He was a Jesuit, which he was the first Jesuit pope, which would put him, he would be the first pope that would be on, I'm trying to think of the word, on equal grounding to the Black Pope, because they would both be considered basically the same rank. One would be the Pope, the other one is the general superior general of the Jesuits. That's Arturo Sosa at this point. But neither one of them can hold a candle to the power that the Grey Pope holds, and that is Pepe Orsini, or the Orsini bloodline of the Zorro bloodline. So we don't see him very often. There's not a lot of information about him. I think there's one, maybe two. I only think I know one picture on the internet of Pepe Orsini, of the Orsini family. But if you don't know about the papal bloodlines, they are more important than the 13 families of the Illuminati. As far as I'm concerned, they definitely hold more power. But the 13 families, they definitely are the eyepiece, what people pay attention to, the smokescreen for all of that. So, mosques, thank you. I can't even think of this, but I'm really tired. Mosque. So he did the whole building of the Abraham House, which does have a church, a temple, or a church, a synagogue, and a mosque. Putting the three religions on the same ground, and essentially putting them on a level playing field, which we know that's not true. Two of those don't talk about Jesus. I mean, they talk about him. One being horrible, and the other one thinks that he was, knows that he was a real person, that he was a very important person. They considered a very good teacher, and when they talk about him, they always do it with reverence. They would say, "Jesus, peace be upon him," or when they write it, it would be Jesus, PBA. PBAH, I think something like that. Peace be upon him. Yeah. So they do talk. They do talk about him in a positive light, I guess you want to say, as opposed to what he's referred to in the Talmud or the Jewish mystic writings. So I don't even want to talk about that right now. But yeah, so he is passed away. It'll be interesting to watch the ritual that they're going to, pick another pope. We'll probably cover that. I don't know. I'm going to have to push around my schedule. Who's that? Hold on a second. That was Charles. I'm going to have to push around my schedule just a little bit in order to be able to keep that covered. Only because I'm not working from home anymore, so I got rid of my internet. So I'm working right now off of my hotspot on my phone, which sometimes it is not that great. So what I can do this week, maybe or later on today, I can go see about getting my internet hooked back up, and that way I'll be able to run the conclave and be able to go to work and be able to do that. Looks like I also have to learn StreamYard again. That ought to be fun. Yay. So other than that, I don't think I'm too rusty. I mean, I'm know exactly what I wanted to talk about. It has been a while. Hey, Ernie, come on up. My dear, come on up. Let's talk. Let's talk. Shall we? Come on up, Ernie. Here, let me do this. And this is for Ernie only. This is for nobody else. Oh, you're working. Okay, hon. No worries. No worries about that. But yes, the Pope did pass away, Ernie. So, yeah. But yeah, so I will go get my internet, hopefully turn back on today or tomorrow. And because I don't think they're going to start the conclave much before, a few days from now. I doubt it. I don't remember how that works. I just know that, they have the whole smoke and, you wait to the end of the day or whatever. And then they wait. People stand there at the Vatican and they just, for hours, days on end, and they wait. He passed away a long time ago. I know, right? Isn't that the truth? Yeah, isn't that the truth? And then at the end of the day, what they do is they will put smoke up, and if it's black smoke, then we know a pope hasn't been chosen. If it's white smoke, then we know the a new pope has been chosen. So that's how that works. Yeah, he passed away a long time ago. I think a lot of these public figures have passed away a long time ago. By the looks of them, I think Biden is one of them, of course. Yeah, I think the Pope has. So somebody mentioned that. Hold on a second. Klaus Schwab stepped down, resigned from the WEF also. I'm wondering who's taking his place. I wonder if it's going to be, I can't think of his name, his number one guy there. We did that show about, can't think of his name. I'm sure Ernie knows who I'm talking about. I think it was Ernie's idea to do the show. I loved his hot. Oh my gosh, Pam, seriously, wasn't that creepy? That was so freaking creepy. At first I didn't realize what they were talking about, and then all of a sudden I saw it, and I was like, whoa, yeah. There's no, yes, Harari. Thank you, Yuval Harari. Yes, that is the name of. I'm wondering if that's just going to take his place, because if it is, then a lot of the things that we talked about on that show could possibly be coming to fruition. So yeah, I'll have to get that show back out and repost it for you guys over on Facebook. So if you're following me over on Facebook, there's a lot going on right now. I'm in a far better place than I was even a week ago. So you probably will be seeing less of the narcissist postings that I've been doing, exposing that part of it, and more on what we're used to me posting, put it that way. Like I said, I'm in a much better place, which it feels really good. Had a long conversation, a 2-hour conversation with somebody night before last, which put a lot of things into perspective. She told me a lot of things that I had already known. So yeah. So you won't be seeing any more of those postings, I don't think. Probably not. I'm going to say 99% of no, you're not. But there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Some people will know about it. The people that are close to me will definitely know about it, but others, I'm not gonna put it out publicly for a lot of people. So, with that being said, let's see. You said his son. Oh, okay. His son's gonna take over. Okay. Well, that's weird. I kind of thought Harari would, but we'll see. We'll definitely be following that story in of itself. So again, if you are just joining us, Pope Francis has passed away at the age of 88. It was announced he passed away about 7 o'clock local time at the Vatican this morning, which we saw him during the Mass, during the Easter Mass. And so, yeah, that was his adios to everybody, I guess. So, yes, we do. We need to catch up. I haven't spoken to really a lot of people. I really haven't spoken to a lot of people. I mean, Deb, not even Deb and I have really spoken. Charles came out here a couple months ago, about a month ago or something like that. And him and I had dinner together, and we talked, and it was nice. It was good to see him. So, but it was about a month ago. I pretty much spent all my time working. I have. I'm gonna. I haven't started it yet, but there's a 4-month contract coming up with a certain trucking company. I'm not even going to mention the name, but there's a 4-month contract coming up that I'm hopefully going to be getting that position. It's for a I can't remember that there's a name for it, but technically what I'll do is if there's a problem with a driver from getting the freight from point A to point B, I'm the one that will take care of that, make sure the driver's taken care of, make sure everything is fixed or whatever, and I'll be doing that. And I don't know when I'll be starting that job, but it'll be probably in the next couple of weeks. and that trains in Tempe. I'll be training there. And then when that's done for the 4 months, I'll be doing a split schedule. I'll be doing 2 days at home and 3 days at the office. And then over time, I can choose if I want to be at the office or I want to do it at home. And then I have like 4 or 5 other things that I do for work. So I'm quite busy, but it keeps me busy, keeps my mind occupied, which is a good thing because, yeah, some of the stuff I've been through, it's hard to cope some days. But anyway, so that's all for today. I will keep you guys updated on when the conclave is going to be starting and who the choices, who the forerunners are. I'm not really sure. There was a couple of pictures that did I pull it? Hold on a second. I think I did. I think I pulled it on my phone. And if I do, I'll pull it up for us. Yeah, here they are. I don't know if you guys can see it. Give me a second. Let's take this off. Okay, we'll do that. And okay. Hey guys. Maybe you guys can see it. You see this? Okay. So I guess these 3 guys are the ones, or these 2 guys, because that would be Pope Francis on the other side. I think these 2 are the forerunners. I'm not quite sure who they are, but I will make an attempt to find out who they are and get that information for you guys. So, okay. Turn off my camera. Okay. And again, I apologize if you guys are coming back to watch this. I do apologize again for the beginning. I know I was on camera. I know. I know. Yeah. I'm actually doing pretty good on my self-image now. I might be on camera more than not. Yeah. I'm skinnier now, so I don't mind being on camera. Not at all. So anyways, all right, guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to make my coffee, or not make it, but get it all ready. And then headed to bed. I look great. Well, I do a little bit. I feel good. That's all that matters, I guess. I feel really good. As a matter of fact, I tried putting up a picture on my YouTube earlier today, and it wouldn't post. I took it. When did I take it? I don't know. This afternoon. I know today was rough. I took a melatonin last night before I went to bed, and oh my goodness, I could not wake up this morning. Just saved my life. I think I woke up at 7:30. And I was like, I've got to get the sweet potatoes in because, like I said, I made dinner. I made dinner for my friends, and I was like, I got to get the sweet potatoes in, and I went back to sleep until 9:45, and I was beat. Keith came over and he's like, why are you dragging? I was like, I don't know. I said, I think it was the melatonin that I took. Maybe I took it too late. I don't remember. I don't remember what time I go to bed. I don't look at the clock because I know that I have, oh, you know what? Oh, crap. Hold on, guys. I have an alarm set. What time did I set it for? 7 o'clock. Okay. If I go to sleep now, I can sleep until 7. Instacart's doing a promo today and I can make a lot of money. So that's why I'm gonna get up and do my Instacart. That's one of the other jobs that I have. So. All right, guys. I will see you all later. Let's see if we can do the outro. We messed up the intro. Let's do the outro. What do you think? Outro. All right, let's see if we can do the outro. I don't know how we do it. How do you do it? Huh.